Please welcome your Langley United. To deliver today's game ball, please welcome Marcel Horn, Executive Director for LUSA. And for the Township of Langley, please welcome Councillor Mr. Jim Bailey.
Welcome back to L1BC Stadium in Langley for the second of our double headers. Is Langley United hosting the Whitecaps men. League 1 BC men's division action. We'll get through the starting lineups for you. For the Whitecaps, lining up in a 3-4-3 formation. And in case you haven't told, I've just run up the stairs here at L1BC, which is why I'm a bit out of breath. In goal, number 90, Isaac Francoeur. Number 41, Riley Ferraro. Number 65, Tyler Marsden. Number 68, Alessandro Troisi. Number 71, Maxim Kalina. Number 72, Charlie Rogers. Number 77, David Adegboroye. Number 88, Angela Zhu. Number 93, Ethan Stiver. Number 94, Marley Edwards. And number 96, Noel Poole. For Langley, in goal, number 1, Matthias De Souza. Number 4, Jaden Manetta. Number 5, Martin Ostavari. Number 7, Joel Badger. Number 10, Amir Gassemi. Number 11 is Brody Thomas. Number 12, Joey Buchanan. Number 15, Matthias Lucas. Number 16, Dominic Joseph. Number 17, Thomas Pyle. And number 19, Marcus DeAndrea. We're going to start with a moment of silence after the horrible events in Vancouver last night. Our thoughts from everyone at League 1 BC and League 1 Canada go to the victims and the Filipino community.
Remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
The anthems over here at L1BC Stadium. The flags at half-mast, as we mentioned, after the horrible events in Vancouver last night. And a nice moment of silence. And as said, everyone at League 1 BC and League 1 Canada offer our sincere condolences and thoughts to anyone affected by last night's events and to the Filipino community. But we're in for hopefully a footballing feast in this second game of today's doubleheader. There was no goals in the first game in the women's division between Langley and Whitecaps. Can the men conjure up something a little bit different this afternoon? The officials for this one, the man in the middle is Rodrigo Zaduneski. First assistant referee, Muniel Peran. Second assistant referee, Shane Dwan. And the fourth official is Amar Ramic. Whitecaps in their traditional white jerseys with the blue hoop and the blue shorts. Langley in the all blue kit with the wonderful old retro Admiral gold stripes down both sides. And interesting stuff we're going to get this afternoon, I think, from this match. I'm your match commentator, Michael McCall, and I'm joined in the booth this afternoon by the man that will be doing the call for the rest of the season for the Langley United home games. Introduce yourself, Brett.
Well, I'm Brett Lepkowski. It's great to be here with you again. We got to call that first game together. It's a lot of fun. It's great to have.
I really enjoyed doing that with you. First time we did it, I thought we flowed seamlessly. We had a lot of talking to do because there wasn't a lot of action on the pitch to describe.
Yeah, hoping to see more in this one.
I think we will.
Yeah, both teams coming in with one win. The Whitecaps with 2 losses. Langley United with 1 loss on the season, playing their third match. Whitecaps got off on the right foot with a 2-1 win against a good altitude side, but then since then they got beat up a little bit by TSS Rovers 6-1, and then they followed it up with a tough 3-2 loss against Unity in their last matchup. Langley got off to a tough start, a tough 3-2 loss on the road in Kamloops against Kamloops United, and then they rebounded with a 3-1 win over TSS Rovers. And now it's time for their home opener here. Langley United, been a club since 1926, will celebrate their centennial this season, but also celebrating the inaugural season of L1BC play here at Willoughby Stadium. And hopefully for everyone involved, the sun stays out and the wind stays down.
Yeah, it was windy during that first one for sure. And it's interesting, Langley, good win last week. I was at that game at Swangard, a 3-1 win over TSS Rovers. Slow to start in the first 10 minutes, then they kind of got a great burst of goals, and in the second half they were under the cosh so much but put in a tremendous defensive effort and came away with a big 3-1 victory. 3 changes for Langley though from the team that had that, with a couple dropping down from Vancouver FC, and we'll get into that as the game gets on. It's a Whitecaps that's going to get the action underway here, going from left to right as we watch this one. And indeed, underway it is as Ethan Stiver kicks things off for the Caps. The 3 changes for Langley: Mateen Ostavari coming in, 22-year-old Iranian centre-back, he's coming in to the defence, and Thomas Powell, first teamer, he's on a U Sports developmental contract. He is dropping down to play in L1BC today to get some minutes, and Dominic Joseph, who is a very exciting young prospect. I've been told so much about him by my podcast co-host Zach Meisenheimer, 16-year-old. He has signed a developmental contract this year for 2025 in the CPL with Vancouver FC. He's been playing with Vancouver U19s, called up to Trinidad and Tobago's under-17 team as well, where he played 3 games in the recent CONCACAF under-17 championships, and has already made his CPL debut. It was just a fleeting minute in the 4-1 loss to Ottawa, but I think they've got high hopes for him, and we'll see what he can do to this Langley attack. And right away Langley are on the attack here in the second minute. They've got a corner here on the near side, and it's going to be swung in. Great delivery, it's a curler, and it's an Olympico almost, off the back post into the hands of Isaac Francoeur. How did that one stay out, Brett?
I cannot believe that. That looked like that was in the back of the net. I thought I saw the mesh ripple, but it might have been a player, because that one somehow stayed up. Cannot believe that we're still 0-0 here.
Oh, I thought that was it as well, and then I realised it had bounced into the arms of Francoeur, and he'll be glad to see that. But that is what Langley need to do here. They want to be in the front foot. They started on the back foot last week against TSS. then found their groove, found their goals as well. Players to watch for me this afternoon. I mean, for Langley, I've really liked what I've seen from Brodie Thomas, and like he's a great story for this Langley side. He's been 12 years with LUSA, which is the Langley United Soccer Association. He was their first ever signing for L1BC, and he scored fittingly the first goal in team history as well.
Yeah, just fantastic stuff. It's so rewarding and something that a lot of the players at the youngest levels of LUSA can look at as an inspiration for the future, and the future definitely looks bright for Brodie Thomas here.
Yeah, and LUSA's been such a staple and do so much out here in the Valley. It's great to see they've got this pathway. We spoke a little bit about it during the women's game as the shot comes in from Joseph. Thomas Powell now coming in with that shot as well.
Good effort, but easily handled there by Vancouver, and this is we've said it, and we're used to seeing it from the Whitecaps' very young side. We'll see how their youth is able to handle some experience at some pretty high levels, some youth sports players, and some people who have been around here for Langley. So curious to see how this one goes today.
Yeah, this is another very young Whitecaps team out there. There's a bunch of 15 and 16-year-olds on the pitch, in the squad as well. And it's been a mixed start to the season. They went in their season opener on Sunday, the 6th of April, and came away with a huge come-from-behind victory at Altitude, who at the start of the season were my tip, I thought, to maybe go on and win the whole thing. But that was a young team that day, and they played way beyond the years in the second half. The next week they were even younger, as a big bunch of the under-16s and under-18 players were down at the Generation Adidas Cup. TSS gave them a footballing lesson in that one, 6-1, and that was a generous scoreline in the end. But then they bounced back, and they had a good performance last week against Unity, came out on the wrong side of it, but they went toe-to-toe with a very strong Unity side that consists of a lot of Trinity Western Spartans players as well. So we'll see what kind of test they've got this afternoon. I was speaking to Brett just off air about, I've been told a lot of good things about the current crop of Whitecaps U16s and U15s. A lot of people that know the game, have been involved in the game, tell me that there's players on these Whitecaps teams that will make the breakthrough to the first team in the years to come. And getting this experience at this level so early in their careers is absolutely massive for them.
Oh yeah, it's so big when you can get that cohesion, especially with this group, and they'll continue to play with each other coming up, and they do see that next level, and they know that there's an opportunity for them, and very exciting times here for this young side, and they're looking pretty confident early on here so far.
Yeah, aside from that near Olympico, it's like it's been Whitecaps for the first 5 minutes, but Langley enjoying a good spell of possession as well. And I think a player to really watch as well, he got 2 goals against TSS last week. He's out on the left wing right down in front of us just now, is Joel Badger, wearing the number 7 jersey. He has played at Douglas College for a couple of years, went overseas for an opportunity that didn't work out. Him and a couple of players had an opportunity to go to the Middle East. Wasn't quite what it was meant to be when they got there. So back now in Canada and hoping to light it up, Joel Badger here in League One. He's had a good winter season in the amateur ranks in the Fraser Valley Soccer League with the champions, Aries. I never know if it's Aries or Ares, but I'm going with Aries. Their head coach, Farivar Tarabi, is the assistant here at Langley, so if he's listening to this back, I'm sure Farivar will shoot me a message. But Joel Badger led the team with 17 goals. It was a tremendous performance. I don't care what level you're playing in, if you have a 17-goal season, you've had a good season.
Yeah, NACCAA champion, like you mentioned, with Douglas, and that is a tough league to play in.
Yeah, 2023, Douglas won that, and it's a good level. Pac West, CCAA have had the opportunity to call some of the nationals in the last couple of years on the men and women's side, and there's some really good players there, and there's a lot of them featuring in League 1BC as well, from Douglas, Langara, Capilano.
Yeah, VIU always a good side
of course,
as well.
VIU is a big bulk of the Nanaimo United side.
Yep.
I don't know how I could have forgotten about that. I knew there was a fourth team, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm missing a team here. Stefani with a big challenge to break that one up. He cuts a big figure back there. He was one of the players I was struggling to get height for. I like to jot down my heights, but they've got a 6'4" and a 6'2" player back there, and he looks bigger than both of them, so I'm putting him somewhere around the 6'4" mark, I think. Big Charlie Rogers at the back for the Whitecaps at number 72. He's 6'5".
Just a little taller than you and I.
My 5'8" seems quite small now. It's a throw into Langley, midway in the Whitecaps half over here in the near side. Quickly thrown in by a former Whitecap, Jaden Mineta. Played the last 3 seasons in League One with the Whitecaps, coming back from college. Just graduated from Seattle Redhawks and looking to make the step up to the pro game. He'll be looking to have a good season again here in League One. Won the championship with the Whitecaps back in 2023. Marcus DeAndrea now out on the left wing. Him and Joel Badger have kind of been switching positions. Here go Langley on the attack. It's a great move here. Through ball, trying to get threaded through there for Gassemi. Just takes a touch of a Whitecaps foot, and it's going to be out for another corner, and Joel Badger heading over to the far side to take this one. Joel Badger and Brody Thomas both with 2 goals apiece this season. 5 goals so far Langley have scored, 3 different scorers, and it's Badger with the outswinger. It's headed clear to the edge of the box. Dom Joseph takes a touch to his outside, sprays a ball nicely back out to Badger, but he's closed down quickly there by Adig Beroy.
Yeah, that was a great play by Joseph. Looked like he wanted to maybe go for glory from well far away, but he played that well and was patient and found the nice little ball there, and the possession will stay with Langley deep inside of the Whitecaps end of the pitch.
Now the Whitecaps quick transition play, trying to get numbers forward here. And it's good closing down and breaking it up there by Langley. This has been a nice fast-paced start to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of energy in all these legs right now, and that was some good recovery defense from Badger, who came all the way back and did not give the Whitecaps any room there, as he was swallowed up within seconds, and multiple men in blue were on him.
I'm trying to work out the formation for Langley, because at times it looks like they're playing with a front 2, at times it looks like they're playing with a front 4, which is quite I think. I do wonder, like, Azad Palani, who's the head coach of Langley, is also the assistant at Vancouver FC, former assistant coach with TSS as well, so he knows this league. I do wonder if he's watched some of the Whitecaps games, particularly the last 2 where they've been given goals up, and he feels if they come out really aggressive here and get them on the back foot and get that early breakthrough, that this one could see the goals racking up, because it does seem quite an aggressive pressing play. It's very different to how Langley were against TSS last week, where they were just happy to play in the counter-attack.
Right. Yeah, we are seeing a very, aggressive press like you just mentioned, and definitely trying to put a lot of pressure on this young Whitecaps side and try to force them into some sort of mistake here early on.
But they've not made one yet. They're doing well, and that's a nice diagonal ball to try and get chased down here by Troisi. Touch inside. Marley Edwards now gives it back to Troisi, and they're going to win their first corner of the afternoon. Alessandro Troisi, one of 2 Troisi brothers in the Whitecaps Academy right now.
And that was a really nice long ball there from 96 Noel Poole to set that one up.
Yeah, Noel Poole's an interesting player. We'll get into him as the game goes on as well. He's been watched by the Irish national team for their youth camps, and we've already seen one Vancouver lad that's playing for Ireland, and Grady McDonald. And the success of the likes of Grady McDonald as well just has more eyes on this league, more eyes on BC players, and that's great to see. And all these guys know that they will get opportunities if they do well. And the great thing from Langley is they've got this working partnership with Vancouver FC, and Vancouver FC can loan players down, as they have done today, as that one headed back, just gets enough on it and goes through to Francoeur. But yeah, Dom Joseph and Thomas Powell both starting this one. Jose Navarro, an interesting one on the bench. Thought he might get the start today, but he hasn't really featured for the first team either last year or this year. Fleeting minutes last year, the 6'1" forward from Mexico City. And it is sometimes tricky for players in pro teams to drop down to the second team, if you want to call it that, although Langley's not officially the second team of Vancouver FC. But some players have the appetite for it, some don't. And that's something I think that Afshin Gopi will want to kind of see, what kind of response, because what you want Thomas Powell, you want Dom Joseph to take this game by the scruff of the neck and just say, hey, look, we should be playing in the CPL. And you can see Thomas Powell is really up for it this afternoon.
Yeah, he's got a little extra pep in his step for sure. He is really covering a lot of ground here early on and trying to make things happen on the attack.
Wearing the number 17 jersey today, Thomas Powell. Michael Ajagbe has been wearing it this season. Whitecaps captain Adig Boroyi with a throw in the far side. The Caps will recycle it out now to the right. They've had a bit of success up this right wing. Most of their attacks so far have come up that right side, but now they're going to try and get something going up the left. 8 changes from the team that lost to Unity last week in this Whitecap side. It's like crazy. They've already used I don't know how many players so far this season, which makes prepping for these games all the more interesting.
Yeah, hard to build a scouting report against the team when you don't know who's going to be coming out.
I think though, even like the Whitecaps themselves don't know what players are going to have available, because WFC2 play tonight at Swangard, so there was a couple of players in this one that were maybe going to be on the bench for WFC2 tonight. They have been training with them, as Angela Zhu lines up for the shot and lets out a roar. He feels he should have done better there, didn't quite get the power on that one. He's already got 1 goal and 2 assists in his 3 matches so far this year, building on a very good 2024 season as well.
And that can't be easy, to what you're saying earlier, for some of these kids. You don't know on any given day which team you're suiting up for, if you're going to be starting on the bench, and where even you're going to be driving to on a certain night.
Because it's like, am I playing for the U16s this weekend? Am I playing for the League One side? Am I going to be on the bench? Because like the number 71, Maxim Kalina, he's been training with WFC2 in the last couple of days, and he's already been an unused sub with WFC2 this season. It's interesting to see Thomas Powell is he's dropped really deep. He's behind the back line almost.
Yeah, I was just going to point that out too as well.
Yeah.
That's very curious. But he plays a nice long ball.
Lovely ball out to DeAndrea. Marcus DeAndrea, he was with Rivers, now Kamloops, for this year, last season, and he really impressed me. I liked what I saw from him. Brody Thomas now, the captain. Joseph outside to Powell, who's now in a room to get a shot off, and that's just high wide. Can't quite get the direction onto that one.
Yeah, little ambitious there from Powell from quite a ways out, but I like his confidence he's showing today. He's really, like you mentioned, he's really trying to prove something here this afternoon.
He's one of those players. He was drafted last year for the 2024 season by Vancouver, and him and Sebastian Jakowski, 2 guys that we've both seen play in U Sports, and Dzikowski didn't maybe get as many chances as I hoped he would get, and I believe he's gone over to Europe now. Thomas Powell, though, was a guy that seemed to really seize the moments that he did get with Vancouver FC, and as we were just talking about, this is the kind of game he needs to show well in this, because if you don't show well in a League One game, you're not then going to get the opportunity in the CPL. And Vancouver FC still looking for their first win of the year in the CPL. Led in the last 2 games before some disappointing late heartbreak for them.
Yeah, a couple of goals from returning to Vancouver, Nicholas Mosquita. But you know, a very young side there for VFC, and I think a lot of the experts probably had them listed pretty low on their preseason predictions. So, well,
I was questioning whether they'd have a record low points total. So they've actually impressed me more than I thought they were going to do. They have the last couple of games they have played really well, and having the opportunity now. Like last year, they tied up with Burnaby FC, but they didn't really seem to loan players down to them. But we're already seeing the fruits of getting these fringe guys minutes, because there's going to be injuries, there's going to be opportunities to be had, and it's a nice long ball forward. I thought it looked offside, but it was a late flag coming, and I was trying to temper my excitement in the racing in on goal there from Matthias Lucas.
Yeah, that was close, but yeah, I think you're right. Just maybe a step or two ahead of the play right now.
And Lucas is a very interesting one. 19 years old, raised in New Jersey. His parents are Brazilian, and he went to Rio as a 16-year-old, and he was playing youth with Flamengo down there before coming back to BC. So the kind of football and education he's going to have had is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, that's a great club to go down and learn from at a young age like that.
I mean, even if that's the only experience you get, it's like to have 2 years with a club like that. I'd be telling everyone about it, which we are now for him. Marsden with the long ball forward. That's going to be easily dealt with by DeAndrea.
Yeah, it looked like that ball just got hung up in the wind a little bit at the end.
Yeah, we talked about the wind in the first game if you weren't with us for that. It's been a weird afternoon here wind-wise. It really flares up, it's kind of swirling, seems to be blowing north, so Langley, if it's keeping as it was in the first game, will have that in their favour for this one.
Looks like they've relaxed their press a little bit on this back 3 of the Whitecaps.
That is hard to keep going for a full 90.
Yeah.
You want to do it in spurts, and I think we will see it again as a little trip there on Stiver.
Coach Azad is going to expect quite as much from his side in that aspect as maybe a Jesse Marsh would.
Yes. Whitecaps led by head coach Ewan Fisher. Rich Fagan also takes charge of this team sometimes. Ewan Fisher in the dugout today. Nice to hear Scottish voices coming from the dugout, so whichever one of them's there, I'm happy with that. Adegbaroye just losing possession there. Brody Thomas, he's got options either side of him, tries to play that out wide to Lucas.
Great job there from the skipper to get back.
Yeah, and great recovery from him. Because last I saw him, he was up in that. Well, I'm pointing, which doesn't help the views at home. He was like in the Langley half, and then the next thing he's breaking that play up. So he really put on a burst of speed to get back there. That's what you want from your skipper. And
absolutely.
He's the experienced guy on this team. He's a 23-year-old.
The elder statesman, 23.
Yeah, old man out there from Fort Lauderdale in the US. Has played one game before this year in League One. He was with Notsamoa, and he played a game at the tail end of the 2023 season. Interesting addition for the Whitecaps in this one, and obviously as the older statesman gets to wear the captain's armband. From next weekend onwards, though, the Whitecaps will have some of their returning college players back, so it's going to be a stronger team. So teams that meet them early in the season and get these points, like TSS in that victory, like Unity last week, if Langley can do that today, this men's division this year feels wide open. Like in recent seasons, TSS have kind of looked the better team from the start, maybe had the odd wobble here and there, but this year everything is up for grabs. And if you haven't been following the action, there's no playoffs this year, no championship game. Whoever wins the regular season will be representing Canada or BC in next year's Canadian Championship, and it's been TSS for the last 3 years. I mean, the way it's shaping up, it could be a new name in 2026, and that would be great for the growth of the game.
Absolutely, but we've seen what TSS can do on that stage, and they've helped really provide a lot of legitimacy to League One. And
yeah,
I mean,
you'll
you've been there personally.
Yeah, they'll have another chance. I'm flying off to Winnipeg with them in a week on Tuesday. Busy couple of weeks. Flying off to Miami this Tuesday for Whitecaps. Flying off to Winnipeg the next week. A little bit different surroundings.
Well, there is a Miami in Manitoba as well, so I hope you don't get stuck
Oh,
there.
I didn't know that. I guess technically I'm going to Fort Lauderdale, which, funnily enough, it's David Agade-Boroye. That's where he's from, so I'll maybe ask him for some tips on what to do. It's a free kick just now for Langley as the referee gets everything all in order. Powell steps away from it, comes in from Gissemi, and that's just going to take a touch behind off Marley Edwards, and it's going to bring up another corner on the far side here for Langley. Joel Badger over again to do this.
Yeah, the fans are they're aching for a goal right now. You can see it. It's
So are we.
yeah, it's been a game, and it's been a half of this half, so it's been well over 100 minutes.
And my last game last week was a 0-0, and the first half of the first game last week was 0-0 as well. So, bouncing ball is another close call there. How that one didn't go in, I don't know. Seemed to bounce off the right post again. That right post is cursed, I think, for Langley in this half, and again it fell really favourably for Isaac Francoeur. He had a defender in front of him, and no Langley player could just stick that leg out to poke that one away.
Yeah, unlucky again for Langley. That was a wild sequence of events. Off another corner seems to be where Langley's having a lot of success.
I do wonder how much the swirling wind's playing into the problems there for Francoeur. 16-year-old Vancouverite, originally from Burkina Faso, has featured on the bench this year for WFC2 as their backup keeper. But two very close calls now for Langley. They've had the better of the chances.
Yeah, Whitecaps not really able to get any real possession or anything to challenge Langley inside of their final third right now. Been a bit on the back foot, but they've had some spurts of quality, but just haven't been able to string it together. That's nicely laid off.
Yeah, and here goes Lucas again. He's got Thomas to his outside. Thomas needs to he's going for goal instead. Don't listen to me, Brody Thomas. You've got a couple of goals already in your 2 games so far, so may as well have a look at another one. But the better option was the pass to the outside there.
Yeah, the pass from Lucas ahead before that, maybe just not quite hitting him in stride, and he had to stop his run, and I think that set up that shot there, and well handled by Francoeur. Not too challenging, but still good to not give up a rebound or anything.
It's a very, and I'm harping back to this about the shape of Langley here, because as they're defending this, they're in a 4-4-2. In the attack earlier, we saw Powell in the middle of a back 3. So it's kind of hard to really work out what they're doing right now, but whatever it is they're doing is working very well.
Yeah, I do think they are rolling with the front like a 4-4-2, like you had said, but their outside wingers are really pushing up
very
forward.
Advanced.
Yeah, very advanced.
It's almost like 4 up front. We were just speaking in the women's game that I miss seeing a front tandem, like 2 guys up front, and we're getting it this afternoon here from Langley. still scoreless as we are past the midway point of the first half. Stiver, nice little touch inside, chance here for the fight for the Whitecaps. And that was just blasted over. Good opportunities, the closest so far that the Whitecaps have come this afternoon.
Yeah, a really nice run through the middle, but just leaned back a little bit as he was reaching for that ball on the shot, and he sent it sailing over the net. But that is the most dangerous the Whitecaps have looked by far here through just shy of half an hour.
Riley Ferraro with the opportunity. He had a strong 2024 League One season with the Whitecaps. This is his third year featuring in the league. Made one appearance in 2023 and 11 last year. Where he got a couple of goals.
That was a great turn by Thomas there, but trying to find Gassemi, and just Gassemi didn't make the run.
Thomas is a real handful.
Yeah, big figure in the middle of the park there, and very clever on the ball.
And we spoke about his connections with Langley. He's been with Langley for 12 years, plays in the Fraser Valley League with Langley United, and he led the team there with 9 goals. So he certainly knows how to find the back of the net, and he's scored in each game so far, played the full 90 in both games as well so far. Adegburoye. Good movement here by the Caps. Ferraro, little give and go, just can't get that ball out the turf, and Ostavani clears the danger for Langley. Tommy Powell now, ball forward. It's the right idea. I think he was trying to spring. Thomas just didn't quite get the direction and acknowledges that with a little hand up.
Yeah, tough one there. As yeah, like you said, he was just didn't quite put that where he wanted it, but more ambitious play and another long ball from Langley, and they are finding some success, but Whitecaps holding on strong right now.
It's always dangerous to say this, but I feel there's a goal in this game. I don't think we're on for a 0-0 here, the way that these two teams are playing attacking style here. Now Stiver gets the ball out wide. His cross blocked well though by DeAndrea, and it's going to bring up a Whitecaps corner here on the near side in the 30th minute. The half-hour mark approaching fast. We're still scoreless. If we get another 0-0, I think I picked all the featured games of the week, and I think someone's going to have a word with me after how the last 2 weeks have gone. Well, if we end up with another 0-0 here. Angelo Zhu takes it short to Stiver. Comes back to get the return pass. Back to Stiver now. Back to Zhu. It's a lovely inviting ball there, only finding a Langley head, and now Ostavari will take no chances with that. Almost puts it in to the snack bar, which I'm assuming still do fantastic poutine. When I was out here at the CCA Nationals, the poutine in that snack bar was tremendous. So if anyone's out here at Willoughby, I highly recommend it.
I always love a good poutine.
Oh yes. Anything deep fried fits my Scottish nature fully. D'Souza hasn't had a lot to do so far this afternoon. Was outstanding in the second half for Langley against TSS last week. A string of top saves, rightly getting Team of the Week plaudits as well. As in Palani, telling his team to go forward and to press.
Well worked up that left side there.
Really nice footwork there again from Adeg. As the wind picks up again, as you can probably hear. Marsden not picking out a white shirt. Langley will try and get something going now. Neither team's really able to find a lot of space, but there is definitely chances there, especially from a Langley point of view. They've been getting in good positions, but the balls just haven't been coming through to them. As that is somehow kept in well there by Eric Baroye, but then gets taken off his feet. You can kind of see the ball holding up a little bit in the wind.
Yeah, absolutely, and there is some space there. That's a nice ball.
And that's a through ball for Lucas. Flag is staying down here. No, it's not. It's gone up.
Again.
That's the latest of late call. I was watching him the whole time and I thought it's going to go up, and it did. And yes, they are told not to put it up too early until the player touches the ball. It's frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it looks like he just began his run a split second too early.
Because you get carried away, you're like, oh, the flag stayed down. This is going to be a chance, and oh no, it's not. Stavary breaks it out. Nice chip ball here for Badger. In on goal, and he pulls it inches past.
How has he missed
the
that?
far post. I thought that was tucked away in the bottom corner for sure.
Oh, Badger with a brilliant chance for his third of the year. I'm not sure how he missed that one. He tried to place it on the inside of the post.
Well, when you see how clinical he was against TSS last week, it's like you would have put your house on him finishing that, which thankfully I didn't, because mine's just rented, because that would have caused a few problems for us. But he can't dwell on that, and he's back on the ball. And a long range effort coming in from Gissemi.
Could have potentially played that one into Lucas. He had maybe a little bit of space to control and take a touch, but long range effort from Gissemi just rolls easily into Vancouver.
A lot of players on this Langley side as well, they do play for the Fraser Valley Champions Aries, and Gissemi's one of them. He was second on the team. He had 12 goals this past season. I thought they had a really good chance at provincials this year, Aries, but they were bounced out quite early, and it's helped Langley because they've got all these players back, as that one just can't get connected with by Thomas. And of course, David Adegbaroy everywhere in that pitch just now for the Whitecaps, mopping that one up as the Caps try to bring that forward. Joseph gets a foot in, and Adegbaroy
did well to keep it in again, but then lost it to Powell.
Lucas now lets it bounce, gets away from his marker. Big save at the near post there. He made himself huge, did Vancouver.
Yeah, that time Lucas able to stay on side. Didn't have too much of an angle, but well played there by the young 16-year-old keeper.
This is his second appearance of the season. His first one he won't want us to dwell too much on. He did give up the 6 goals to TSS in the second game of the season, as that defence was ripped apart that day. But Vancouver, so far, coming up big in the first half here for the Whitecaps. And although this is a goalless game, it's a very entertaining one. I mean, I've got to be honest, the women's game wasn't the most entertaining for a 0-0. Sometimes you get good 0-0s, and this is one of them so far. But a goal surely is getting closer and closer now. Langley, they're knocking on the door.
Yeah, the chances are building up here as we go along. That one misses Gissemi as he again just halted his run for a split second, but the pass has already been made by Mineta.
Langley started the season with a win last week and then a defeat in week 1. If they can get this win this afternoon, it would jump them up to just 1 point off the top spot in the table. TSS and Kamloops both leading the way on 7 points. TSS though have played 4 games so far, Kamloops just the 3. Kamloops still unbeaten, 2 wins and held to a draw yesterday.
Yeah, Kamloops and Burnaby still perfect records up to this point.
Yeah.
Burnaby's only played 2 matches.
Yeah, Burnaby, I seem to have in my head that this was the same with Burnaby last year, and part of it is availability at Burnaby Lake. It's sometimes tough to get the pitches there, and then they had a lot of games to make up and it just wasn't happening for them. You kind of don't want to be playing make-up if you can. It's better to have these games on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's tough to have to string so many matches together like that.
9 teams in the league this year, with the addition of the two new boys, Langley and Evolution from Coquitlam. Langley will be streaming all their home matches on L1BC's YouTube channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and all the games, if they're not streamed live, will be up within 48 hours for you to enjoy. Langley, Nanaimo, Kamloops and Unity streaming all their home games this year. Will have featured games of the week as well. So a lot of football to take in this year. And as we said, the men's division is wide open right now, and Langley hoping to try and take charge of that. That was a wasted opportunity.
That was asking a lot of Lucas there. He's Powell throwing his hands up, but I don't think he can pass the buck on to him there.
I'm hoping he threw his hands up, frustrated at himself there, because that did feel like a bit of a waste. Thomas Powell, one of 2 Powell brothers that we've seen in Canada West at Trinity Western Spartans. Nice crossfield ball brought down by Adigbaroye. Zoo, long range effort off the crossbar. Actually, it was Henry Hitspit there that had the... Actually, he's not on the pitch, so I'm confused. I could have sworn I just saw 74. And still holding his head in his hands at that effort.
Unlucky there. Great strike from distance. Beat the keeper, but...
Good 25 yards from goal. Got the pace on it.
Yeah, potentially pushed up a little bit just due to the wind, but...
I was Marley Edwards, it was 94. Yeah. It's my old eyes, I can't tell 7s and 9s, because I was like, it's not Angelo Zoo, but yeah, Marley Edwards with the strike there, so apologies to Marley for getting that wrong. But that certainly had beat D'Souza all ends up, and it's the closest the Caps have come this afternoon. Lots of kids out enjoying the action, rolling down the hill on the far side. If you haven't been out to Willoughby to take in a game, highly recommend you get out. And I enjoy being behind the goal on the north side there. It's just, I like being down at pitch level. Even when I've been here on media duty at Vancouver FC, I've gone down from the press box to watch the games behind the goal. I just like to hear the action, get closer to the action down there, and it's a nice little setup that they've got.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great thing that they've built here in Langley with Willoughby Stadium and the Langley Event Center. Of course, Langley Event Center about to get busier with the Vancouver Bandits and the CEBL getting going, and then there's always lacrosse, and then there's hockey, and there's just it's a great little area to be in, and there's always something going on if you're a sports fan.
Yes. And Langley itself as well is just growing and growing and growing. Every time I come up here, it's like I'm passing new development after new development.
Nice ball.
Zoo turns superbly there. Now Stiver gets a chance to drive forward. He's got a couple of options. Goes inside to Ferraro, does well to spin away, and then has to turn back to the outside. And DeAndrea doing well there to close down Troisi.
Semi was trying to show off a little bit of skill right with that one, but probably didn't need to do that. Turns it over. Caps again on this right side.
Yeah, they've enjoyed the better of the play these last few minutes here, the Caps, and they'll come back now to Stiver. He looks to see if he can whip this one in. Not really getting the opportunity, and just getting forced backward here. As it comes out to Ferraro in a tussle there with DeAndrea. Great skill though from Riley Ferraro. Comes to Angelo Zoo. He can't get that out of the turf to get the shot off either. Again, good defensive play from Langley. Edwards. Aribaroy sends it into the edge of the box. A chance here for Troisi. He comes to Ferraro. His shot is blocked. Shipped back in, but cleared. Best spell of the game for the Whitecaps in the last 5 minutes here. Langley, though, not allowing any room to get crosses in, and Whitecaps don't have numbers in the box either, which isn't helping. Comes to Zhu, he chests it down. Still, Angelo Zhu makes room for the shot, and a big block in the end there from Ostavari. That was a nice piece of skill there from Angelo Zhu.
Yeah, and a great cross into him there. You said they haven't committed a lot of bodies into the box, but they find the one Whitecaps player who was inside the 18. Just could not buy himself any space there, but they quickly take the corner.
And just wasted and turned behind there as we get into the last 2 minutes of the first half. Would not foresee more than probably a minute of time to get added on here, if even that, to be honest.
A very free-flowing and quick opening half here. It's really been flying by. Plenty of opportunities, but again, this stadium just begging for a goal.
Oh, I'm just watching Azad Palani taking up the Chelsea Hannison stance down there, which you can't see in the camera, but I don't know if this is something that they teach at Langley for coaches to be crouched down in their technical area. I mean, both coaches will be happy with some of the stuff they've seen, the clean sheet for one, but they'll be disappointed they maybe haven't capitalised on the chances. To have both created, I think Langley's shaded though with the best or the better of the chances. They've hit the woodwork twice, just once for the Whitecaps, and Badger dancing into the box, and what a finish! Another great individual effort from Joe Badger. Jinks one way, jinks the other, and then tucks it into the bottom left corner past Isaac Francoeur. And in the 45th minute, Langley have a 1-0 lead here at home at Willoughby.
That is a goal scorer's goal right there from Joel Badger. I was just about to say that this Whitecaps side, this young Whitecaps side, the longer that they were able to keep this one scoreless, the more they were starting to feel comfortable. But Joel Badger eating his defenseman just left and right, just absolutely putting him on skates, and then a nice clean finish going back towards his own body into that near post, and that's a clean finish to beat Francoeur and open up the scoring just before half.
I mean, that's something we've seen from Joel Badger at all levels that he's played, and it is going to be a minimum of a minute to get added on. Horrible time to concede for the Whitecaps. A fantastic time to score though for Langley, and Joel Badger, his third of the season, his third in the space of 2 matches as well. That is what he does. He scored with Douglas College. He has scored with Unity, co-led Unity last year in League One with 5 goals, and now already 3 for the season. And just fleet of foot, Francoeur no chance to keep that one out, and that's going to change the halftime team talks a little bit. Might put a smile on Azad Palani's face, not sure. I've known him for a couple of years now, haven't seen him smile too much. Eric Baroye can't get the space. Good block there from Thomas. That's probably going to be the last action of the first half, and indeed it is. What a time to score for Langley. Joel Badger, 45th minute. It's the difference between the two teams just now. You don't want to miss the second half of this one. It's sure to be a cracker. Join us in 15 minutes to find out.
So some guests would like to welcome here today. A special welcome to the players of the Vancouver Football Club. We hope you're enjoying the game. Thank you for joining us here at Willoughby Community Park, home of the Vancouver FC and your Langley United Soccer Association. League 1BC and Langley United support safe and inclusive sports. We hope you're enjoying the game. Please refrain from any abuse of the players or officials and fellow fans. We thank you. Langley United is proud to be a part of League 1BC. Join us all season long and cheer on Langley's team. Check lusa.ca or league1bc.ca to stay up to date on standings and future matches. Please welcome back your Langley United.
Welcome back to Willoughby Stadium in Langley for the second half of our League 1BC Men's Division Game of the Week. A 45th minute goal from Joel Badger is the difference between these two sides, giving Langley a 1-0 lead over the Whitecaps. It doesn't look like either side has made any changes at the half. We have made a change though in the commentary booth, bringing a sub on at half time. Brett has gone, and welcome Estelle Kaler.
Hi, hello everybody.
Estelle's going to be doing the games this year with Brett for Langley's home matches for the rest of the season, so you'll get used to this voice. So what better way to introduce you to her than this game, where hopefully we'll be seeing some more goals in the second half. At least we got a breakthrough in this one, which I was starting to think wasn't going to come, Estelle.
Yeah, exactly, right? Good to get into halftime on that one up. Hopefully they can bring the momentum into the second half.
It was a good point for the women earlier. You're involved in the women's side. Let everyone know what your involvement with them is.
Yeah, so I've just started kind of working with the women's team as a staff support coach. I also work with Langley United as a full-time technical coach. So yeah, it's been really great to get in with the ladies. I am a player myself, so yeah, it's really good to see them on that side of ththings.
Yeah, and it was a 0-0 draw. It wasn't the most exciting game, but it was a game that saw you get a point against a Rise side that I feel it's just going to get better and better as the season goes on. So to get these points now, I mean, the men's division's kind of wide open. The women's division, no one's running away with it either, and you're right in the mix.
Yeah, it's definitely tight. So to get this now, it might be good to look back on later in the season. You never know.
Yeah, and you've got games coming up still against the top two of Altitude and Unity, so we'll see how they go. But the action underway here. If you have just joined us, Langley in the all blue jerseys with the retro Admiral yellow stripes down the side. Whitecaps in the white jerseys with their traditional blue hoop and blue shorts. Whitecaps right to left in this half, and Langley left to right as that one. I thought that was going to go out. I think Brody Thomas thought that was going to go out as well. And putting under pressure now. I'm just double checking there hasn't been any subs at half time. No, it doesn't look like there has been, so we'll go to the benches I'm sure at some point, but it's a nice touch and turn away there from Gissemi. Ball just runs away in the end. It's picked up though by Joseph. And Langley will try and get something going up the left hand side. It's a nice ball forward from Jaden Mineta. Flag up though for offside. So what's it been like to be involved in a club style for the first year of them existing? Obviously Langley themselves have been going for 99 years now, but to have a semi-pro club here and be part of that, how's that experience been for you?
Well, it's been really interesting. I've been a player in Langley for years now, going on 15 years. So it's been really cool to first see the BCSPL League get brought into Langley and now to extend onto this. It's really exciting.
We're going to see you on the pitch at any point this year?
Oh, probably just on the bench.
Oh, and a swing and a miss there from Joey Buchanan. That's going to give a chance here for the Whitecaps. And over and throw in duty again is David Adegiboroi. Adegiboroi seems to have been the Whitecaps player I've mentioned the most in this game, and was the player that I didn't know how to pronounce his name until seconds before kick-off. So I feel I've got value for money for running up and down the stairs to find that out, because he's been very much involved in that first half, and he's wide open on the left here if the Whitecaps can get the ball open to him.
He's doing really well to get away and find some open space there, just sneaking around the back.
Slowish start to the second half. The first one was like a rocket. The teams were coming out, and Langley getting used to playing with a lead now in the second half. They led 3-1 last week against TSS, and then were a little bit under pressure in the second half, but their defence just stood so strongly, and they'll be hoping if they can nick a second here, they will have another 3 points in the bag, as Buchanan tearing up that wing, winning a throw-in for his side as well. Buchanan looking for the movement there. Touch on here from Lucas. Lucas cuts it back, looking for Badger. An important foot in there from the Caps to knock that one away. Thomas now trying to let that one come down, wasn't able to get the shot off, and the Caps will now bring this one out. Adegiboroi yet again on the ball, inside to Stiver. He'll switch it to the right wing now, and space here for the Caps to get something going. Held up though. Edwards, lovely ball out to the wing to Adegiboroi. Takes a touch inside, and that just gets by Stiver. I think he thought Edwards was closer behind him than he was, and Langley just mopped that one up. Thomas Pell once again in between the two centre-backs to try and get something built out from the back there. 7 games under his belt in the last season and a bit for Vancouver FC. Dom Joseph, who made his CPL debut just a couple of weeks ago, a fleeting one, but at least gets that debut up and running, as that's off the shoulder there of Gissemi. Thomas can't pounce. Badger though with the shot bundled over, and this is going to bring up a great free kick opportunity for Langley, about 20 yards out here, right in front of goal as well. And Langley signalling over to the bench. I'm not sure what for, if it was for the ball or if there was a knock or... So we'll see who fancies this one.
It's a really good spot for Langley here, right outside the box. Only issue with this, they might get a little too much on it.
It's hard to get it up and under.
Yeah. You get excited when you're this close.
Yeah. But it's Gissemi that's going to take him, and no, he has got a good delivery on him. Vancouver standing in the middle of his goal. Gosemi does hit it, but this time it's straight into the wall. Someone last year had pointed me to a stat which I didn't know, that it's like the amount of times you score from a free kick that's like 18 to 20 yards out is like so small, because folk just can't get it up and over the wall. So you're better trying to chip it in than going for goal, but no one does. They all just go for goal. They've all seen all the dramatic free kicks on the telly, and they want to have that in their highlight reel roll.
It's so hard to get that ball up and then to drop at just the right time. That wall did well there. It's a screamer to take.
Buchanan now doing well. Cuts that back to Lucas. A lot of bodies in the box, and Lucas almost going to ground there. The Caps survive, get it out. Joseph pushed off the ball there. Now Ferrara's got a chance to get this one forward, and he's pulled back there by Joseph. Don't think we've had a booking yet in this one, so nice to see the card so far staying in his pocket from referee Zudaneski. Edwards now, he's got Adi Baroy out to his left, plays it back instead to Maxim Kalina. Charlie Rogers now, cousin of L1BC General Manager Mark Rogers. Charlie's cousin Mark's son Sam is a goalkeeper with the Whitecaps U15s, U16s, and is another top prospect that I'm sure we'll see at some point this year in League One. Gosemi now, nice touch turn, plays it forward. It's the right idea, just behind Matthias Lucas there. We had some lively moments in the first half, but they've struggled to get him too much involved in the latter stages of that first half, and right now no one really able to get much chances going, Estelle, in this one.
Yeah, Langley definitely playing tight in the back. They're leaving those two sides totally open. Definitely protecting the center here. You see they're all on about the same 20 yards.
Yeah.
So they all shift together now. Just fully leaving that other side.
Very well organised. That's definitely what I noticed from watching their game last week at Swangard. Yeah. They were so organised in that second half. But maybe here, sprung the ball over the top for Zoo, but it just runs out of room in the end.
It's the tricky thing when you play so tight like that, you do leave that wing up to a race.
The discipline though, like when you were just talking, I was watching them, they were all moving like in perfect unity there.
Connected
like,
by the string.
Yeah.
You're always tight with your partner.
It's very, very good to see. Azad Palani's built a good squad here. They're definitely going to be there or thereabout come the end of the season. And we're talking to Brett about this. It feels the men's division is wide open this year. Like TSS the last couple of years have kind of had a good run at it, but be a brave person right now to put your money on who you think's going to come away in the men's side this year. As a flag up very quickly there. I was complaining about late flags in the first half, and now we've got a quick flag this time round as the Caps look to make a couple of substitutions, including a number I don't have, so let me just check that. Sometimes the jerseys get swapped at the last minute. I don't have an 87, and it's not on the app as an 87, so mystery player coming on here for the Whitecaps. So apologies to him, we won't be able to call it, but if anyone can find out who he is for me and let me know, that would be excellent. Seper Eravani is the other player that's going to be coming on, the number 34.
87, trying to be sneaky there.
I know there's an 81, but I also know that it's not the 81. I'm thinking it might be Liam McGowan, the number 98, but I won't speculate or guess, because then I'll just be wrong if I say the wrong name for the whole rest of the second half. But it's a double substitution anyway. And we'll see who was heading off there. Noel Poole making way, the number 96 on the near side, and on the far side was the other substitution, which still, you've got way younger eyes than me. See if you can.
Oh, he's pulling up his shirt
that
now.
that doesn't
He's
help.
hiding it from us.
We're back to the action though, and we just have to hope number 87 doesn't score. Langley on the attack, is a through ball. It's a nice ball for Lucas to get onto, and just flashes that past the far post. That did not miss by much. It cut the Whitecaps open. It seems to have taken a little touch on the way through as well, because it's a corner to Langley. First glance didn't look like it had taken a touch off anyone, but Langley won't complain. They get a second bite of the cherry here. Joel Badger over on corner kick duty here once again. The fourth official also over at the Whitecaps bench, I think, pointing out that there's not a number 81 on the game day roster.
Be a quick counter here if they move fast.
Oh, Whitecaps had three players forward there. It was like a 3v2, 3v3 situation, and wasted again.
It's got to be a 1-2 pass there.
Langley now the other way. Lucas again, he came close inches seconds ago and just overruns that one and behind. Langley playing some good stuff. They're not just sitting back and defending the lead like they did last week. They had a 2-goal lead last week though, which makes that a little easier to do. Still very much on the front foot, and it's a young Whitecaps side out there, and they're chasing the game as they've had to do in the last couple of weeks. Ethan Stiver is the other player that went off incidentally there for the Whitecaps. We're still looking to confirm who number 87 is. We've got folk working on that for you just now. If you are watching at home and you are related to number 87 and you want to let us know, AFTN Canada on X or AFTN on Blue Sky. Likewise, if you want to get in touch and chat about the game, we'd love to make these broadcasts interactive. Let us know if you're enjoying this one, where you're taking the action from this afternoon, or to chat about L1BC. As Kalina sprays that one out to Zoo. Nice touch and turn from Ferraro.
Flag up again.
Hadn't been many offsides in the first half, but they've been coming thick and fast. Players playing on the edge, just trying to get any advantage they can. Vancouver just trying to play that out. A little bit of hesitation from the Caps defensively there, and Langley looking to pounce on that one, but Buchanan, I think, thought he'd got the throw in there. Referee feels otherwise, and the Caps will have a throw in midway in their own half as the hour mark approaches here at Willoughby. Still the narrow lead for Langley, but they look the more likely to add to it just now. Lucas tries to thread that into Thomas, who he's been really good, Brody Thomas, in the first couple of weeks. Hasn't had much of a look at goal so far today though, Estelle.
No, you can see he's getting a little frustrated too. Big sigh there.
Yeah, when you've had a goal in each game so far.
Yeah.
And it was Liam McGowan that came on. I did wonder, I thought it looked like him, but I didn't want to speculate in case it wasn't.
Done.
Because initially I had him down as number 84, And then he's on the listing here as 98, but instead he's number 87.
Oh, here we go.
Wild swing of that from Amir Gassemi, and he'll want that one back. Caps just want to quickly get on with it. Too quick, says the referee. Ball moving, and they'll try again, this time up the other side. So Liam McGowan that has come on for the Caps, one of the older players on this team at 20, which is crazy to see. A prolific goal scorer in his youth with the TSS Academy as well, so Whitecaps will be hoping to try and get something from him this afternoon. He's finished his 3rd year with New Brunswick Reds. Didn't play this past year. Wasn't able to find out if that was through injury or what, but he'll be sharp and hungry and wanting to impress in League One, as all these players will be. Langley living dangerously at the back there.
Confidence in front of the net there.
Yeah. I mean, of all the players on the Whitecaps, I don't think I'd want to be doing that in front of Adegibora. He's been very sharp all afternoon. But now Langley, Badger up the left wing. Gassemi keeps it in, he's got Thomas in the middle, finds Brodie Thomas, and a big block there, comes back to Thomas, tries to make room for the shot. We were just saying Thomas hasn't had too much of an opportunity this afternoon, got 2 there, but unable to find a way through, and Langley will have to settle for a corner. Joe Badger, the goal scorer, over on set piece duty again. Oh, that was whipped into the near post, and Lucas headed over. We almost got an Olympico in the 2nd minute, and that one was certainly curling in, and you wonder if it had been left there, what danger that might have caused in the end. But if it's coming to you, you're going to go for it. Oh, and Badger pulled back. Surely that's going to be a penalty, and it is. We're going to get a yellow card as well. I think double jeopardy saving Tyler Marsden there from a red. In the old rules, that would have probably been a red card for denying a goal scoring opportunity. Now, if you give away a penalty, it's only going to be a yellow. Badger asking for the ball. Thomas, you could tell, wanted it there. He wanted to get a goal in every game, but he does hand it over to Badger. 3 for the season, looking for his 2nd of the afternoon. Trying to stop him, big Isaac Francoeur. Badger steps up, Francoeur goes the right way, but he has enough to get past him, and for the 2nd game in a row, it's a double for Joel Badger, and Langley have a 2-0 lead here at Willoughby in the 65th minute. All to do now for the Caps in the last 25. Vancouver did well to get down there.
Yeah, guess the right side and everything.
He's a big keeper as well.
Hit.
Yeah, had the power on it, and Joel Badger having quite the start to his League 1BC campaign. He had 5 goals, Estelle, last year with Unity. That co-led that team for the whole season in 12 appearances. Now he's got 4 goals and 3. He is on fire at the moment.
Lighten it up.
The
Whitecaps are going to make a double substitution now to try and get some spark back into this. I've mentioned it is a young Whitecaps side, and it's a learning experience for them. It's going to be a tough year, I feel, for them this year. in League One, even though they are going to be getting some of the college guys back. But it's a good development. It's like if you're 15, 16 and the team has high hopes for you, it's like if you can get these games, and you learn more from defeats, or so they say. As Thomas now in on goal, beautiful ball, Thomas! Another individual effort, Brody Thomas this time, and it's dreamland for Langley. 3-0 in the 66th minute. It was a great through ball. I didn't quite see who played it, but Thomas still had a lot of work to do. A little flick past the defender, in on goal, and tucks it away with aplomb to the far corner. Langley 3, Whitecaps 0. And the DJ is going to be busy getting all this music fired up as the subs come on now for the Whitecaps. Coming on is number 79, Declan Fro, and number 81, Akiz Aguma. Riley Ferraro making way along with Alessandro Troisi. It's tough now for the Caps to come back.
Tough rut to get out of once you get two on you that quick. That's hard mentally. You hope with a couple new subs, maybe.
I mean, it was such an even game. It's like the first half. I don't think you would have had it at 3-0 by the midway point of the second half, but Langley, they've not taken their foot off the gas, and they've played some really nice stuff to start this season, and it's can they keep this going now for the full 16-game campaign? If they can, they're definitely going to be challenging for that Canadian Championship spot. Kizazuma taking up the role on the left-hand side. 15-year-old forward. Scored an absolutely fantastic goal and was excellent throughout in the Whitecaps' first game of the season against Altitude. Got the first goal of the season for the Caps as they went on to win that one 2-1. That's been their only victory so far this year, and barring a stunning comeback here, it's going to be 3 straight defeats for the Caps and a lot of work to get done for the rest of the year. For the Caps, a quarter of the way through their season already. It's kind of weird to think of it that way. It feels the season's just got underway. This Langley's third game, they had a bye week in week 1. I think Langley now will just be happy to try and hit on the counter. They're going to allow the Whitecaps to have the ball, have possession, see what they can do with it. And they've certainly got danger men that can really hit quickly on the counter. Scores yesterday in League 1BC in the men's division. Burnaby came away with a 1-0 win over on the island against Nanaimo. Very close game again, but Burnaby maintaining their unbeaten start to the season. The winning goal in that one coming in the 65th minute from Emil Simovici. Kamloops and Altitude played out a 0-0 draw out in the interior, second straight 0-0 for Altitude now. They have to try and find some scoring form, as we're going to get a triple substitution coming up here for Langley. We'll come to that in a second. And the third game yesterday, the last one, it was a 1-0 win for TSS Rovers out at Cloverdale against Unity. Michael Hennessy penalty in the first half. The difference between those two teams, Hennessy hit the bar with a second penalty in the second half, and that keeps Kamloops and TSS top of the League 1BC men's division on 7 points. But Langley now will move right behind them, breathing down the neck, with 6 points after this one. And the triple sub now coming for the home side. Coming on is number 6, Valentine King, number 9, Jose Navarro, and number 18, Shabod Jafari. Making way, Matthias Lucas. A lot of running from the man raised in New Jersey. Also making way, the number 10, Amir Gassemi. And is Brody Thomas coming off as well? No, he's not. I thought he was making his way off, which was going to be very surprising if he was. I missed who the third person coming off was. Oh, it's Dom Joseph, the number 16. So Valentine King, the number 6, a left-footed central midfielder. He's come on as a sub in the second half of both games so far this year. Shabod Jafari has also featured in the previous 2 games, started against Kamloops, came on as a sub last week, and a first appearance in League 1BC for the Mexican Jose Navarro, loaned down to Langley from Vancouver FC. Navarro only played 1 minute so far in the CPL this season, in that opening loss for Vancouver against York United. Fleeting minutes last year as well, 8 games, 7 in the league, 1 in the Canadian Championship, and still to find his first goal here in Canada, you have to feel that they need to get some minutes under his belt, and Afshin Gokbe's probably spoken to his assistant Azad Palani about getting Navarro some minutes, some confidence boosting minutes. I thought he might have started this one, but he's off the bench. We'll get about 20 minutes or so to see what he can do out there. As Adegboroy gets that one back, just overrun there by Aguma. Now Langley will go the other way, but cut out well by Tyler Marsden. Beautiful day for football out here at Langley. I mean, did you notice much like we noticed the wind up here big time during the women's game? Was it like that at pitch level as well?
Oh, it's hot. It's hot down there.
Oh, is
You
it?
could not feel the wind, or at least it was in the women's game.
Oh, interesting.
It was warm for sure. Might be cooling off a bit now.
Yeah, the sun hitting right off the bleachers in our faces right now every time we look at the far side, which isn't great. Buchanan does so well to keep that in. He's powering forward now, Joey Buchanan, but good recovery there from Iravani, and he knocks it behind for another Langley corner. Joey Buchanan's like a bulldozer sometimes as he gets forward. He's a 6'1" centre back, but always feel he wants to be a winger. Does remind me a lot of Eric Lajeunesse, the UBC player that's with Pacific. He's a centre back as well that loves to just tear up the pitch. 2-man Joel Badger now on corner kick duty once again. That's a good delivery, it just runs through everyone. Comes to Thomas at the back of the box, and Thomas just spins and falls over there. Brody Thomas now 3 games, 3 goals, 1 in each game, and I mean you can't ask for much of a better strike rate than 100%. Well, Joe Badger now has 4 in 3, so I'm sure he'll be telling him that. Badger second in the Golden Boot race in League 1. Michael Hennessy leading the way with 5 for TSS. Actually, it might be 6. I think his goal last night made it 6 for Hennessy. Still time though for Badger to add to his tally in the last 15 here. Another good corner coming in, and it's met by Ostavari. Seemed to get in the way of his own man there as it just goes over the bar, and the Whitecaps will breathe a sigh of relief and quickly get onto it. It's nice to see the Whitecaps' heads haven't gone down. It would have been easy for them just to do that.
Still
but
trying with that ball.
yeah, oh, it's a nice long ball forward here from McGowan. He needs some support up there though. Cuts it back. Adegboroy goes down in the box looking for the penalty. Nothing in that, says the referee. I would have given that mainly just to make it a bit more interesting. He did go down quite easily there.
It's good to see too that Langley's still looking to push forward. Sometimes you can get caught in a shell at the back once you're up by 3. And then that usually will end up trouble back down at you.
Well, the thing is as well, with the men's division being so tight, things could come down to goal difference at the
Exactly.
end.
You want to get as many goals as possible.
Yeah. TSS put 6 past this Whitecap side in a 6-1 victory, so I mean Langley will have that in their mind a little bit as well. Great play there from Jafari, not giving up on that at all. Langley forced back a little bit though, as I think we're going to get another substitution coming up shortly from the Whitecaps.
The Whitecaps really need to capitalize on these chances. Every time they play that ball up, it's always a first touch back towards their own net.
Yeah, they're not being aggressive enough.
Not on the front foot. They're always looking to turn back. It'd be interesting to see if some of those guys up front can take on a player or look to spread it wide.
I mean, the whole Whitecaps MO with the first team this year is like possession football, and you want to have the ball, but you still have to show that aggressiveness.
That final quarter.
Yeah.
It's kind of time to go. There we go, and he does.
Iravani. No, yeah, it is Iravani. Storming forward there, almost slipping that one through. He did really well there. But again, very solid defensive structure from Langley, allowing no room back there at all.
Very disciplined in their fitness as well. You can see the second they get the ball, they're very big on the field. That takes a lot of effort to do. It might seem easy, but going from small to big takes a lot out of you, especially on the wings.
Yeah, I think Azapilani will be very happy with what he's seen from his side this afternoon. And really over the last 2 weeks. Iravani, touch inside.
And there you go, play back again.
Nice touch and turn though as the shot gets fired in there from Marley Edwards. He already crashed one off the bar in the first half. Edwards picks up the loose ball. Oh, delicate little back heel there as Adegeboroy nearly got onto that, but a good last ditch tackle to knock that away for Langley there. And I think both teams, they're waiting to make subs, but they'll wait till after this corner comes in. That was a great challenge that came in there from Valentine King. Edwards, good delivery to the back of the box, comes off a Langley head I think in the end, and just diving on that is Mateus de Souza. Hasn't had a lot to do this afternoon, although the Whitecaps have had the ball and had chances. It's not been a lot of clear-cut chances, which I think was my complaint in the women's game. If you watch the commentary back, it's just everything for both teams seemed to fall apart in the final third a little bit. Whitecaps not being rushed, still playing their patience game. They've probably given up getting a result out of this now, but I mean, stranger things have happened.
You never know.
As Akuma chasing that one down with DeAndrea, and DeAndrea doing a good job ushering that one behind. And now we will get the subs. 2 for the Whitecaps. Making way for the Whitecaps is the man that hit the bar in the first half, Marley Edwards. Also making way is number 72, Charlie Rogers, the centre-back. Coming on, number 74, Henry Hudspit. And number 55, Charmin Mizami Gudarzi. For Langley, coming on, number 23, one of the 2 Hatch brothers on the team, Beckham Hatch. Who, when I was doing my prep for this, I thought if you've got a name Beckham, you have to be a footballer. There's not really any other thing you could do in life. Didn't quite see who went off there for Langley, and probably he might turn round. Did you see at all, Estelle? Oh, actually Beckham Hatch hasn't come on yet. That's why they're still waiting to make. They're going to make a double substitution. They're going to make a triple substitution now.
They like doing those.
Keeping me busy up here. So I didn't miss who went off. No one went off. As a Palani obviously thinking I may as well just make them all right now. As King, nice footwork from the centre back. Navarro back to his Vancouver FC teammate Tommy Powell. That's a nice ball out wide. D'Andrea trying to chase that down, but Aguma over dealing with that. I think that's going to be a nice battle up that right side for the rest of this one between D'Andrea and Aguma both ways. Now we'll get the triple substitution for Langley. Making way, number 19. Marcus D'Andrea. So, okay, we're not going to get an exciting battle up that wing for the rest of this game that I just said. That's disappointing. Also coming off is number 17, Thomas Powell. And number 11, Brodie Thomas. He's played every minute of every game so far. He's making way. Coming on is number 8, Adriano Matarolo. Number 14, Riku Suga. And number 23, the aforementioned Beckham Hatch. The action is underway before the substitution's been made here. As the referee's just noticed that now. As Azad Palani gives his captain huge hug. Good performance, another goal for Brodie Thomas. Trying to see who handed the captain's armband over. Joey Buchanan, yeah. That makes sense. I like a centre back as my captain, just they're always yelling anyway.
See if the Whitecaps can find that pass that Langley just found into that far corner, that cross diagonal ball. Langley's definitely leaving one side open in favor of a more tight defense on the ball side.
They've 7 minutes to try and find the breakthrough. I mean, even if they can get a goal for this, it'll be something for them to build on. And this is a season. They're not going to get too high with the wins. They're not going to get too low with the losses. They know it's a young team. They know it's lots of 15 and 16-year-olds. And it'll be an education for it. And we've seen it with the Whitecaps in League One as well. 2022, it was a very young Whitecaps team and they were on the wrong end of some bad results. And then they won the League One Championship in 2023. So this is definitely a very talented young group that we will see in all levels of the Whitecaps organisation in the coming years as well. So keep an eye out for a number of these players. Navarro, nice little flick back there. Jafari just can't find room to get that shot off. Buchanan was looking for the return pass there from Suga, but comes back to King instead. Oh, it's nice ball inside. And Jafari takes a deflection there. Kept in by Francoeur. No, it's not. It is a corner. You are correct. He tried to get on with it quickly. I think I've got away with this.
If I grab it really fast, no one will notice.
And Jafari now on corner kick duty. Not in any big hurry to take this one, just over 5 minutes remaining. Referee not happy. I mean, I've watched Joey Buchanan for a couple of years now. He is quite an aggressive player. It's not his first talking to from our referee in League One that I've seen him get. I do like that though. I like players with edge. Sometimes he lets it get the better of him a little bit too much, but he seems to have really reined that in off late.
You know what the ref's saying now? You only got 5 minutes,
yeah,
maybe a little bit
don't
extra.
Do anything stupid.
Don't do anything. Don't get a card now.
You've already got the victory in the bag. You don't want to miss the next game.
No, exactly.
Plus, as a VFC development player, I was going to say you don't want to show Afshin Gopi that he can get sent off, but his teams do have a reputation for getting players sent off, so maybe he would fit in quite well there. Aguma now trying to get that up the wing, but cut out by Langley, and here go the home side again. Just taking off the foot a little bit. Hesitation there from Badger, on a hat-trick as he was last week. And we get another Langley substitution now, and Joey Buchanan is making way. He's just got the captain's armband. Now who's going to get it?
Find someone else. Hot potato.
Now it's going to... Oh, Jaden Mineta, that makes sense. He's the oldest player on the pitch, I think, now for Langley. So coming on is number 22, Yuvraj Mann. His first appearance in League 1 BC this year, the 2008 player who has come through Langley United's academy. Jafari fancied it there, but can't quite get the direction. This is the ideal kind of game as well, to bring some of the young academy guys on, get them some minutes, get them some experience, and show that pathway that we're always talking about in League 1. You want to see that you can go from playing as a 10-year-old for Langley to, in a few years' time, turning out in a semi-pro team, and then who sees where that takes you.
There goes, does well.
Yeah. I mean, is there a buzz amongst the women player now that the NSL's here? Like, are there players that maybe had never thought a pro career could be in the cards unless they went overseas?
I really wish that you could be in the stands when some of the women's games are going, and you can see the younger players that are waiting and watching the games. You can see it's just magical for them to see. And a lot of times, most of the women are involved in the coaching, and they're around the club, so they see someone they know the names of the players. The girls are just enamored by how big it is and how big it feels to them.
Yeah, like, I always remember the TSS games last year, or the midfielder that we had there, Maddie Ma, who's not playing this year. She's at University in Toronto. She coaches, and her 10-year-old girls were always at every game, and after the game they were getting autographs and they were so excited, and if she scored they were like, it's brilliant to see. And for so long the women's game hasn't had anything. It's like, well, if I want to be a pro, like when you were coming through, if you thought, oh, I would maybe want to be a pro, you have to go overseas, and not everyone wants to do that.
You got to play for the national team, or you got to leave.
Yeah, if you're not in the Whitecaps Rex program, you're probably not going to make it.
Well, exactly. There's lots of different levels of competition now, right, for everybody. But it is super cool, and I'll probably say it again, but that younger girls, especially in Langley, they have a favorite player whose name isn't, the stereotypical Christine Sinclair.
Yeah,
they're going to know someone, and they know her.
And that's what I think a lot of the clubs are really good at doing that. They bring the academy players out. TSS, if they've got a game when training's on, they cancel training that night, and you have to come to the game. So then they're like, oh, that could be me in a few years' time.
Yeah.
And so many players, like over the years when I've done research for these games, there's so many that's come through, like Surrey United. Now you've got Unity there, and then Langley, and you've got Langley here. Chipped up there by Ruga, only finding a Whitecaps head, and they'll try and get something going now the other way. Hey, since DeAndrea come off, Aguma's found a lot more room on that right side. But again, Langley just doing what they've done so well this game and last game. Whenever the opposition gets the ball anywhere outside the box, they're just swarmed. They're closed down by 2 or 3 players right away. And fourth official indicating a minimum of 5 minutes to get added on here. Was hoping for about 3, I think, at this point. Not sure where he got 5 from, really. I don't remember there being that many stoppages. King now, who was playing centre-back for a bit, but now he's up in the attack here for Langley. That's a good ball and looking for Jose Navarro. I mean, a goal for Navarro would do so much for his confidence. It must be hard for a young lad, 22. You've come from Mexico City. You've joined a CPL team. You've not been getting many minutes. You're still looking for your first goal in Canada. You're now playing in League 1 BC. It's like a goal for him today, I think, would do so much for just his confidence and just how he's looking at things, and maybe he can get on the end of this. Certainly moving in the box as the corner comes in, and it's off the back of Navarro. At least he's hungry. I was talking to Brett in the first half. It's when players drop down from a first team, and we've seen it in the Whitecaps over the years, you don't know what their mental attitude's going to be like. Are they going to be like, I don't want to play in a game like this? That's exactly what their coach wants to see, what their attitude is like. And all the VFC players today have certainly shown very well. Navarro's not had too much of the ball so far. Well cut out again by Valentine King. That's a nice through ball for Badger on the hat trick. Gets too much on that. I've really liked Valentine King since he's come on, I've got to say. He was one of the players when I was doing my research from last night. Couldn't find anything really about him, so I can't tell you too much about him. I don't know if he's a looser guy or not, but I'll have to find out more, because I've liked this fleeting second half appearance from him. And he's on the ball again just now, and he gives it away as a curse right away. So he gets it. Oh, tried to return ball to Aribiroy. Nearly gets past Jaden Mineta.
Almost too casual there in the back.
Yeah, it's like they know the game's won, and they just want to see this out now. Tell you who's not giving up is Badger. He wants that hat trick. And Hudspit can't keep that one in. 2 minutes of the 5 left now in this one. It's been a very good victory for the home side. A historic first home match, and a historic first home win as well for Langley United. Good crowd out for this as well today. Hope you've enjoyed the action wherever you've been taking it in this afternoon on League 1 BC. Jafari, just too many white bodies in the way. But Langley will get himself a free kick here. Next weekend's featured game is the longest match between two teams in League 1 BC, as Nanaimo host Kamloops. You've got all these long journeys to Nanaimo and to Kamloops to look forward to this year. Oh, you've done Kamloops already, actually, so.
Yeah.
I had to do it twice last year for commentary. 4 weeks apart. The first week I drove through snow, and the second time I went, 4 weeks later, it was 37 degrees.
Yeah.
Are you glad to get that one kind of out the way early, though?
Well, you know, travel's hard too, and it's like, as much as you can have everything done right, you have all the nutrition, everything, it's just still hard. It's hard to come off a bus, come off the ferry, you know?
Well, yeah, you certainly left it late to get the victory that day, but
Yeah.
what a way to win it.
Needed some time to warm up.
Yeah. It's like you get 2 hours into it, all flag up, and Badger there, the hat trick not coming for him. Yeah, you get about halfway there and you're like, oh, I've still got all this time to go. It's a pretty drive.
Lovely drive.
I feel for the Kamloops players that have to do
Less
it every second game.
Every single time, yeah.
And there goes the final whistle. A very good 3-0 victory. Langley United make it back-to-back wins. Joel Badger makes it back-to-back braces. 2 goals this afternoon. One right in the stroke of half-time to make it 1-0. The second from the spot 20 minutes into the second half. And then a minute later, Brodie Thomas made it 3 goals in 3 games. He's scored in every game so far. This Langley team looks a force to be reckoned with, and we'll see where the rest of the season takes them. Thank you for joining me, Estelle.
Thank you for having me. Hopefully I'll see you guys all soon.
Yeah, you'll get to hear Estelle and Brett doing the commentary in the rest of the League One home games. Although if you keep playing like this, we'll be picking some more games of the week here, I think, for both sets of the teams. So I'm sure we'll hear you in weeks to come. Thank you to everyone that's joined us this afternoon. 0-0 in the first game, a share of the points there. A big 3-0 victory for Langley. We'll catch you at the pitch soon. Until then, have a good week and take care, everybody.